What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks, and in today's video we got something really special for you guys. These are essentially some of my final battles leading up to me hitting rank 10. So I did hit rank 10 in the Ultra League, very exciting. It was a very long and grindy journey there, a lot of frustrating moments for sure in Go Battle League, but we did hit rank 10. And in today's video, man, I got almost an hour's worth of battles to showcase for you guys, and I kind of want to talk about some of the strategies or things that I've learned along the way, especially when I was in the upper 2900 range, which when you guys get there, you will quickly discover that is one of the hardest ranges to be in, like the 2950 plus range. Because essentially, especially earlier on in the season, you are only getting matched up with people that are a lower rating than you. So even if you win the battle, you're not going to get that many points. And there were so many sets where I would go 3-2 in that rating, and I would still either not gain any points, or I've even had instances where I drop rating. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the team here. The team that I used to essentially get me all the way up to like 2990 was this team of Cresselia, Obstagoon, and Swampert. Let's talk a little bit about why this team is so strong. Cresselia is one of the best Pokemon in Ultra League. It is literally one of the most bulky, and that Moonblast debuff is so cheesy good. It's just so bulky. It's got really strong hitting charge moves, and so that's why I'm leading with it. It also has a lot of favorable matchups in the lead position. So then I support Cresselia with two Pokemon in the back that handle Cresselia's worst matchups. So Cresselia is completely walled by any steel type, so this includes Berserker, Registeel, Melmetal, Empoleon. So I have Obstagoon and Swampert in the back. Both of these Pokemon can handle the steel types. Oftentimes I would use Obstagoon as my safe swap, which I'm going to be honest, it's not that safe of a swap. And in some of my later sets, I actually changed out Obstagoon for Poliwrath, because Poliwrath just has a little bit more heavy hitting fighting damage. Especially, I ran into a lot of people running double steel, which was super annoying to deal with if you don't have two solid answers to steel types. One benefit of Obstagoon over Poliwrath is that you have more play against Cresselia because you have Night Slash to hit for super effective. You also have more play against Giratina because, again, of that Night Slash. And then if you have a nice energy advantage, you have the Gunk Shot to throw on the Charmers if you have that energy advantage and you're not already previously damaged. If they don't shield it, you can one-shot the Charmer most of the time and flip a lot of the matchups. If they do shield it, you'll at least come out of that matchup with a shield advantage. And Swampert is, again, one of the best Pokemon in Ultra League. I think the core 4 Pokemon in Ultra League are Cresselia, Giratina Altered, Registeel, and Swampert. So whatever team of 3 you build, you need to have decent responses to all 4 of those Pokemon, because you're going to see them on almost any team comp that you run into. So I will commentate over a lot of these battles, but I kind of want to go over a lot of the, some of the tips I've learned along the way as well. So when you get into this 2900 rating range, the queue times are going to be very long. It's going to take a while to find an opponent. And essentially what happens in how the system of Go Battle League is set up, if you sit in the queue for a long period of time, the game is essentially going to continue to extrapolate the range of opponents that you're going to be able to get matched up against. And this is not good at all if you want to get a substantial gain for any wins that you get. So the strategy that I've kind of adapted when I was in that range, and still what I have to do now because I'm still very high rating, is I don't stay in the queue for very long. I'll click the battle button. I'll sit there for no longer than 10 seconds. If I have not found someone within 10 seconds, I back out and I re-enter. Sometimes I have to do this a lot just to find a match. But what this is doing is guaranteeing that you're not going to be paired up against someone that is substantially lower rating than you. So it's going to keep you kind of in this middle ground. It's going to keep you a little bit safer. You're not going to tank as hard if you lose, and you're actually going to gain some decent points if you win. So that's one major tip that I suggest you try, especially as you're getting closer to rank 10, like the upper 2900 range. Another strategy that has really worked out well for me, and I tell you what, I've seen some streamers, and sometimes it myself is included in this, but when we do all of our sets back to back to back to back to back, it's very easy to get upset, and it's very easy to get flustered if you are not performing well. And I know for me personally, if I start getting upset and getting aggravated at the game or aggravated at my own decisions, I start to not play near as well. So I have found, at least what helped me on my final push to rank 10, trying to space out my sets over the course of the day. I'll do like 1 or 2 sets in the morning, 1 or 2 sets in the middle of the day. If I plan on streaming during that day, then I'll maybe save 3 sets for that period of time. And then I'll do one set later at night, trying to space this out. What this also does is guarantee that you're not getting the same pool of people all the time as well. So you're going to be seeing some new matchups. And again, there'll be more people that the pool can draw from, so you won't keep getting the same matchups. So that's a tip that really worked out for me. Another tip I have is, like, don't battle if you're feeling tired. Like, so I kind of have to remember this late at night, especially if I feel my brain not as sharp as it normally is, and I notice that I'm making mistakes that I don't normally make. I kind of have to put my pride aside and accept the fact that, you know what, maybe this is not the best time to battle right now, because I am making mistakes that are costing me games. You have to understand that there are going to be some games that you are not going to be able to win. No matter what you do, there is no win scenario purely just based on team comp. Sometimes you just run into the most solid hard counters for your team. And as unfortunate as that is, it's not something worth getting majorly upset about, at least in my opinion, because that's something that's out of your control, right? The only thing that I tend to get upset about is if I'm making bad plays, because that's something that I could control. I had a direct effect on whether that was going to be a win or a loss. So that's where I kind of get upset over that if I start making bad plays. But again, if I'm feeling tired, or I'm just recognizing that it's not a good time of the day to be doing those battles, I kind of just put the set off for a little bit later. So I hope some of those tips help you in your final push to rank 10. We have a lot of battles here. I made some pretty good plays, a lot of really close matches, so please stick around if you want to watch some of these battles. I've also noticed in my YouTube analytics that most of the people that watch these videos are still not subscribed. So if you've been lurking and kind of watching the videos and appreciating the content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really does help as I'm continuing to try to build my channel and bring you guys the best possible content that I can. So let's get into commentating some of these battles. Again, we got a lot of battles. Hope you guys stick around for this, but Cresselia into Melmetal is absolute trash. Shields are down here, so I'm just going to try to go for the future sight to get some more chip damage. Luckily, Melmetal is a lot glassier than Registeel in Ultra League, and so the future sights actually do a decent chunk, but man, my opponent played really well here, and this superpower is going to be able to take out my Swampert. Good game. Going against Abba here. Cresselia into Snorlax. Snorlax actually wins in the Zero Shield. And unfortunately, because Snorlax is in the lead here, I'm not going to be able to get my Obstagoon switch locked on the Snorlax, which is really what you want to be able to do there. So unfortunately, not going to be able to do that. But I'm just going to go straight Future Sight here. It's going to hit for more damage. And you can double Future Sight the Snorlax, but it's going to survive with a sliver of health, and it's kind of tricky to Psycho Cut it down. But I am going to throw another Future Sight here. Let's see if they let this go through. They do let it go because, as you will see, Snorlax cleanly wins in the 0 shield, which is really unfortunate. And now I have to shield this and try to Psycho Cut down Snorlax, but they give up switch advantage, and now their Giratina is going to be switch locked against my Obstagoon. This is a Dragon Breath Giratina, so it's less favorable for Obstagoon, but at least these Night Slashes are going to hit for super effective. And again, this is where Obstagoon definitely has more swag than Poliwrath in this position. When I run my Cresselia Poliwrath Swampert team and I encounter a Cresselia or a Giratina in the back, it's honestly a lot more difficult for me. And especially recently, I know we're in Master League now, but in the final day of Ultra League, I was hardly running into any double steal teams anymore, which is really unfortunate. So I'm in a pretty tough scenario right here. Togekiss. Oh man, Togekiss. Togekiss wins this matchup if the Togekiss has good enough defensive IVs in the 1 shield. It wins in the 1 shield. So I'm essentially just staying in here. I tried to catch a move on my Cresselia. That did not happen at all. So I'm for sure going to lose this now. Definitely going to lose. And the Togekiss, okay, it's going to throw a move now, but it doesn't matter. I literally have a sliver of health, but that Togekiss is in Hydro Cannon range. The Charm goes through and takes me out. Good game. Cresselia mirror match. Oh my gosh, these take forever. But honestly, I would prefer to see the Cresselia in the lead instead of having to handle it in the back, especially because there's still so many people that run Grass Knot on their Cresselia, and Swampert just has very little play against Grass Knot Cresselia. If you're running Moonblast and Future Sight, then you're totally fine there. You're still not going to necessarily win the matchup, but you can get the Cresselia a lot lower. Yeah, these mirror matches take forever, and you're going to see a lot of them in this video. Unfortunately, this matchup is totally RNG dependent, whoever's going to get the boost. Luckily, my Cresselia has such horrible IVs that I win the CMP tie on the majority of these matchups, which kind of puts me in the driver's seat because I get to throw my Moonblast first. So if I'm able to get the debuff off first, then it's very favorable for me. Somehow my opponent snuck in some extra Psycho Cuts there. I don't know how they got to that Moonblast before me. And I got double debuff, so I'm in a very tough spot here. I have to let my Cresselia go down. I don't think I debuffed their Cresselia a single time. That is crazy unfortunate. Now I'm going to bring out Swampert. Interesting that I bring out Swampert. Oh, because I'm able to get to this Hydro Cannon pretty fast here. And there's no way they were going to shield it, so I do lose the lead, but let's see what they bring out to punish this. Probably a Giratina. Yep, pretty typical. So now I'm going to bring out my Obstagoon. And Obstagoon with an energy advantage on Swampert. Definitely this is a playable matchup. Obstagoon is very tanky, especially when I get the attack boost like this. So not looking too bad. Honestly, Obstagoon is now going to be my key to victory here. The Swampert is most likely going to double shield and try to get both of my shields off as well. Unfortunately, Swampert slightly outpaces Obstagoon. It takes 5 mud shots to get to the first Hydro Cannon, and then it alternates between 4 and 5 mud shots. Whereas Obstagoon is going to take 5 counters to get to this Night Slash every time. They switch in Giratina. Because my Obstagoon has been boosted, I'm actually going to stay in this matchup and chip away as much as possible. It's also a Shadow Claw Giratina, so I'm triple resisting the Shadow Claws. The Dragon, wow, that does so much damage, man. 50% damage from a boosted Night Slash, that's amazing. The Dragon Claws do chip away. The timer is coming out, so I'm switching into my Swampert. You're going to run into this a lot. If the matchup starts with the Cresselia mirror match, you always got to keep in the back of your mind that it might end in a timeout. And at the end, if both people have 2 Pokemon, whichever person has the Pokemon with the most health remaining is going to win. So that is why I switched into Swampert, and then I immediately threw the Hydro Cannon just to guarantee that I had more health at the end of that matchup. So I'm going to throw the Moonblast here on Escavalier. Man, Escavalier leads are super difficult for this team to deal with. That's where I like Poliwrath a little bit more instead of Obstagoon. But I always shield up the first move. Everyone that runs Mega Horn on Escavalier goes straight for the Mega Horn, and it takes 8 counters to get there, where it takes 7 Psycho Cuts to get to my first Moonblast. And if I can get some shields out of my opponent in this opening matchup, it's really good for me. I'm essentially just trying to chip down this Escavalier. And I got the attack debuff so they can't farm me down. They're going to throw the drill run here. And then I should be able to bring up my Swampert to mudshot this down, especially with the attack debuff. This puts me in a better scenario. But they just gave up switch advantage, and now I get a switch lock my Obstagoon against the Lapras. This is awesome for me. If this was Poliwrath, it'd be more favorable for me, but the counter damage is really going to add up, and these Night Slashes are going to add up as well. Surf comes through. Ice Beam would obviously do more damage, but both Surf and Ice Beam are very similar in energy efficiency. And so at this point, I'm going to shield and fully farm down, because Obstagoon with loaded energy is really going to have a lot of play against whatever could be in the back here. Especially if it's a Charmer, I want to have a possible Gunk Shot. Out comes the Escavalier. What's in the back? Oh man, it's a Gyarados. So these Night Slashes are really going to add up. And Swampert kind of gets to avoid this Gyarados, which is really great. I need to put this Gyarados into Hydro Cannon range. I'm going to switch into Swampert now. It's still not in Hydro Cannon range, but it's going to have to shield up one of these Hydro Cannons. And then hopefully the subsequent Mud Shots will be able to put it in that range. Hydro Pump is going to be coming through very soon. It's going to be coming through very soon. So I just need to get it into a range where I can counter it down. He has to Hydro Pump me. I'm not in crunch range. Hydro Pump is going to take me out, and then I'm able to counter down the Gyarados. Good game. So I dealt with the Escavalier lead, and we were able to pull it out. That's really good. Oh my gosh, Cresselia mirror match again. The final battle of me hitting rank 10 is actually the final battle in this video. So if you stick around for that, props to you. You actually get to see the moment where I hit rank 10. It was pretty late at night. So as you can see, my Cresselia won the CMP tie, and so now I'm at a pretty significant advantage because I got the attack debuff on the first Moonblast. Cresselia is so good. Cresselia is absolutely ridiculous in Ultra League. Again, there's no sense in throwing anything other than Moonblast in this matchup unless it's like right at the end of the matchup and you can throw a Grass Knot if you know it's going to be enough to chip it down. My opponent got in an extra Psycho Cut there, which is very unfortunate. As we know, the state of PvP right now is one that is very laggy, very frustrating to deal with, and Niantic seems to somewhat be oblivious of the problems that are in their game, even though we tell them all the time on Twitter. I don't know if they're just not concerned with it at all or if they're too focused on other aspects of the game, but all we can do is just sit and hope that one day Niantic will wake up and understand how to actually properly code PvP so it'll be a little bit more smoother to play. Until then, we got to deal with the bugs and just accept that that's how it is right now, which is unfortunate. I won the lead. They did go for that last second Grass Knot chip there. One thing that you kind of have to understand as well is in order to hit rank 10, you need to have really good awareness of what team composition your opponent could possibly be running. So my opponent led Cresselia. I know that they also need two answers to Registeel. Swampert is one of their answers. They could also have possibly, some people like to have their own Registeel in the back as a possible mirror match for that. Or they could also be running Charizard, they could be running Escavalier, they could be running their own Obstagoon like I am, or they could be running Poliwrath. But I fully anticipate another Steel counter in the back. And it's a Registeel. So this team that I just faced up against is like the most possible meta you can get. Like straight up vanilla meta Ultra League team. Cresselia, Swampert, and Registeel, like just 3 out of the 4 top Pokemon in the league here. And so I'm going to shield up this Focus Blast. That puts me in a very favorable position. Because I still have 2 Pokemon remaining, I'm just going to win this match because of the timer again. You can see that timer is coming through. And my opponent only has 1 Pokemon remaining, so I'm able to take that game. Good game there. Cresselia into Togekiss. Okay, I need to chip this thing away. Most people that run Togekiss, I've also seen this team comp of, they also have a Giratina Altered, and then sometimes I've even seen it with Empoleon as well, so I kind of need to be mindful of that. I get the attack debuff on the first move. That is absolutely amazing. So my Obstagoon obviously has to avoid the Togekiss. I get another attack debuff on Cresselia, man. Sometimes you just luck out. Sometimes you get crazy lucky. I need to leave this matchup with some stored energy. Now I'm going to switch into Obstagoon. Because the opposing Cresselia has been debuffed, these Moonblasts are nowhere near as a threat. And I want to have minimal health remaining because I know the Togekiss is going to come out here pretty soon and start farming me down because our switch clocks are not synced up. So I'm able to get another Night Slash off here, which is really good. No shield still. I get the attack boost, and now, as you can see, our switch clocks are not synced up. So I'm just going to go straight for Night Slash here. And no shield, still does a decent amount of chip damage. I am up in shields. My Obstagoon did not have to be switch locked against the Togekiss. I actually bring out my Swampert here. This is interesting. I bring out my Swampert because I'm anticipating that there could possibly be a Giratina altered in the back. So I want to save my Cresselia for that. We'll see if it pays off. That's kind of a hard read. It could be a Registeel in the back. It could be some sort of a steel type. I'm going to shield this up because they brought out Cresselia into the Swampert. Going to overfarm. Now I'm going to switch into my own Cresselia. Hopefully force the last shield. They let it go down. It is a steel type in the back. So this is kind of unfortunate because I'm down in shields. And this Registeel is going to be able to lock on down my freaking Cresselia and then land a Focus Blast on my Swampert, and they're actually going to be able to take this match. Togekiss, Cresselia, and Registeel. Man, that's a very bulky team as well. I actually finally built a Registeel, but I have not used Registeel a single time in Ultra League. So probably next season, I'm going to be getting a lot of use out of Registeel because I finally was able to get a lucky Hundo Registeel and max it out. Okay, Shadow Claw Giratina, really difficult for Cresselia in the lead here. If it's a Dragon Breath Giratina, it's actually a pretty favorable matchup. But I'm just going to throw the Moonblast here. Let's see if I try to catch a Shadow Sneak on Obstagoon. Sometimes I try that play. Looks like I'm going to stay in here. Unfortunately, in all even shielding scenarios, this is favorable for the Giratina. I'm going to be able to throw this Moonblast. They're most likely going to shield. In fact, I think the more shields that are committed, the less and less favorable it is for Cresselia. This was a Shadow Sneak, very unfortunate. But now I can bring out my own Obstagoon and be very aggressive here. The counters are still double resisted, but the Shadow Claws are triple resisted, and the Dragon Claws do a little bit of chip damage. I want to leave this matchup with some stored energy though. So I'm going for a very aggressive overfarm. Very aggressive. My Obstagoon is going to be left with very little health, but I don't care because I'm going to have loaded energy, so I'm going to be able to do some damage to whatever is going to come in. I got the boost there, which is absolutely huge because now these Night Slashes are really going to threaten this Escavalier. And the fact that they brought out Escavalier, I'm thinking that there could be a Registeel in the back. So I'm going to preserve my Obstagoon. I'm going to shield up this Drill Run. Unfortunate. I thought it was a Mega Horn. Oh my gosh, it's a Cresselia. This totally sucks. Cresselia in the back is like so. Honestly, Cresselia anywhere on any team is just really brutal to deal with. I'm throwing Hydro Cannons here because I'm very worried that they're going to be able to get to a Grass Knot. But ideally, okay, it's only a Moonblast, so it would be great to land an Earthquake here, but I'm going to get outpaced. So I'm just going to throw the Hydro Cannon. They are going to overfarm to have a lot of loaded energy to be able to threaten my... Oh my gosh, my Obstagoon catches a Moonblast here, which is amazing for me. Gonna bring out my Swampert again. I need to overfarm here. I need to overfarm. And then they make an amazing switch into Escavalier. No! Really good play. And then I'm one mud shot away from winning this game. Crazy close. I made a great swap, and then my opponent made a great swap. Very nice play. Worst possible lead. So we're going to use Obstagoon as a safe swap here. And then they switch in Swampert. I can regain switch advantage here. And that's absolutely what I'm going to do. If I have to commit both shields here, I will. They don't shield up that first Night Slash, so good. It's looking good. I knew that wasn't going to be an Earthquake, so I don't have to shield up the first one. And this kind of puts pressure on them to commit their shields first. They do shield right there. They got in an extra mud shot right there. Not super great. And they're going to outpace me to this next charge move, most likely. I'm going to shield that up. Going to be able to get this Night Slash off. They're very close to another Hydro Cannon. I have to win switch advantage here. I have to win switch. So I'm going to shield this. Because Cresselia has no play. Okay, and then they switch in their own Obstagoon? But this is fine because my Cresselia gets to avoid the Registeel now. And all I need is 2 Moonblasts to take out this Obstagoon. So this is totally fine by me. We need to be kind of cognizant of the fact that their Swampert still has some loaded energy. I get the attack debuff on the Obstagoon, which is really great. Here comes a Night Slash, and they have not gotten the boost. So I'm able to get another Moonblast off before they get to the Night Slash, which is really good for me. Down goes the Obstagoon. Out comes Registeel again. Man, we have a full health Swampert in the back, so all I got to do is put this into Earthquake range, which is around like 80% health left. I'm just going for Moonblast here, hoping for a debuff, or hoping that I could possibly get to 2 Moonblasts. But I'm going to aggressively switch in Obstagoon again. Out comes the Swampert. This is totally fine. This is totally fine because now I'm going to be able to Mud Shot down their Swampert, land an Earthquake on Reggie, and it is game over. So it's actually kind of nice when I run into a Registeel lead. I hate running into Berserker leads because those Berserker is so flexible that nothing really like hard counters Berserker. That close combat and the foul play both hit for very pretty strong damage there. So good game. Cresselia and the Swampert. This is favorable for me. So I'm always expecting them to switch out. I tend to hold on to my energy a little bit. If they stay in here after this first Hydro Cannon, then I will throw something. But they mirror with their own Cresselia. So most likely I'm going to throw some Moonblast. And oh my gosh, I got so lucky with the attack debuff again. Total RNG, man. That's kind of what Ultra League is, though. It's the League of Champs. It's the League of boosts and debuffs, and it's crazy. So my opponent is debuffed. I guess I'm staying in here. They led Swampert. And Obstagoon and my own Swampert, you know, there's some play there. So I'm really just trying to get rid of this Cresselia. Now I'm going to aggressively switch in my Obstagoon because this Cresselia was like almost in Night Slash range. But they're able to get another Moonblast off. Jeez, and I got the attack debuff and Togekiss comes out. This is so bad. And oh my gosh. By some miracle, my opponent shielded that Night Slash. That had to have been a misclick because I was nowhere close to Gunk Shot. And it's a huge mistake of me to dump my energy. But sometimes you win because your opponent makes the mistake and you're able to capitalize off of it. Gonna switch to my Cresselia and throw this Moonblast. My switch clock is up and theirs is not because we're totally out of whack right now with our timers. So Togekiss is kind of stuck here. I knew this was just an Ancient Power. Out comes their opposing Swampert. Their Swampert is barely not in Earthquake range. It's like barely out of Earthquake range. But I'm going to throw it and then hopefully I can get to Mud Shot farm down. Oh my gosh, not even close. But okay, that was a huge misplay on my part. I should have just double Hydro Cannoned. Because Hydro Cannon plus Earthquake is obviously way more energy than just throwing 2 Hydro Cannons. And Earthquake definitely did less damage than I thought it would. I should have just double Hydro Cannoned. Out comes that freaking Cresselia. I'm over farming because I knew that they were out of energy. So this Hydro Cannon is going to KO. Is it a Steel type in the back? No, it's that Togekiss again. I need to get to this Hydro Cannon, man. I got to get there. I got to get there. It's so close. I'm barely able to get there. And we're going to be able to take out this Togekiss and win that game. Good game. Crazy close. Going up against Peppermint Sticks here. Cresselia into Giratina. Is it running Shadow Claw? No, it is not. This is totally playable for us. And I kind of play this differently depending on what's happening. I've seen a lot of streamers where if they are in the Giratina's position, they try to catch a Moonblast on a steel type. So that always has me wary of throwing my Moonblast right away. But if you do throw it right away and you get the attack debuff right away, then you're in a much more favorable position. So I don't know how you guys want to play that, but I held on to my energy a little bit. I got the attack debuff, so we are looking good. We are up a shield, and I'm going to be able to get to another Moonblast here. Do they want to double shield? They're going to double shield their Giratina and just take switch advantage. Totally fine by me. Their attack has been dropped. So I'm going to bring out Obstagoon, and the Dragon Claws are going to do hardly any damage. Oh my gosh, that's totally fine. We're probably going to get hit with 3 Dragon Claws, but I don't even care. I'm up 2 shields, and I'm going to come out of this matchup with so much stored energy, again, because I want to threaten whatever could possibly come in on Obstagoon. Probably an Escavalier. It's a Togekiss, which is horrible. So I'm going to bring out Swampert into this. They have their opposing Swampert. So it's going to take 2 Hydro Cannons plus the Mudshot damage to take this out. I need to exit this matchup with stored energy. Togekiss is most likely not going to be able to get to a charge move. So really, I kind of need both my shields for this matchup right here. I can overfarm just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Now I'm going to throw the Hydro Cannon, take this out. I need to land 2 Hydro Cannons on the Togekiss. But that is not going to be enough to KO. So I'm trying to time when I throw my Hydro Cannon to not allow an extra charm through. I should be able to get to another Hydro Cannon right there. A charm does not go through. That is great. Then at this point, I'm going to aggressively bring out Obstagoon, and they have to dump their charge move right here, which is totally fine. If it's an Ancient Power, I survive. Really good for me. I'm able to get to this Night Slash, and then I'm going to be able to take out the Togekiss with an Obstagoon. Awesome. Good game. Going up against the Playmaker here. All right, is it Shadow Claw? It is. Always a bummer when you see that. So again, going to go straight Moonblast. They do outpace me to the charge moves because it is Shadow Claw. And they're hitting super effective with their fast move. So really chunking me down. They shield that right away, which is pretty crazy. I'm going to switch into my Obstagoon to catch this Shadow Sneak. And now they bring out their Escavalier. This is a pretty solid hard counter to Obstagoon. My counters hit for neutral damage. Their counters hit for double super effective. Night Slash does not do that much. They were able to farm me down. Oh man, now no matter what I bring out, it's going to have to absorb a lot of damage from this Escavalier. Huge bummer. I'm going to no shield because I suspected it to be a drill run. They have 2 drill runs, so I'm going to have to shield up this one. And then I got to get this Escavalier out of here. I can't really overfarm because the counters are really adding up, man. That's doing a lot of damage. Down goes the Escavalier. Out comes the Giratina again. So this is game over. This is game over. I think I even leave this matchup. The Steel type, when it's switch locked against Cresselia, it's absolutely horrible. There's just no play there. But we're staying in here and essentially just praying for a Moonblast debuff, but it ain't happening. It ain't happening. It takes 4 Moonblasts to take out this Melmetal. And that is not happening. That is not happening at all. But we're going to get another Moonblast off here. They're probably just going to Thunder Shock us down. Nope, they're going to throw a Rock Slide. It don't even matter, though. That Giratina is still so healthy. And there's no way Swampert's going to be able to take that thing out. So, at this point, this is for sure good game. Shadow Claw Giratinas are difficult to deal with. I should have just let my Cresselia go down and then guaranteed that my Obstagoon could get stuck against that. Because, yeah, they had double steel in the back. They had double steel in the back, and I had the team comp to be able to beat that. But because I made an aggressive swap, I wasn't able to get the alignment correct. So, again, my Obstagoon is against this Swampert here, and I'm totally fine with it. I need to be able to win back switch advantage here. So again, if I have to go into a shield deficit, totally fine by me. They are not shielding anything. I'm going to shield this. And I want to be able to get to this Night Slash. I'm able to get to it. Let's see if they want to shield this. If they do shield, I'm going to be able to counter down. They do shield. I'm able to counter down before they get to another Hydro Cannon. It looks like they lagged a little bit. Man, that sucks. Puts me in a good position, though. Out comes Empoleon again. These counters are hitting for super effective. Night Slash is going to hit for some neutral damage here. But, man, the Waterfall and the Hydro Cannon damage is no joke. And this is a very loaded Penguin now. But that Penguin is almost in Future Sight range. So I'm going to bring out Cresselia again, because Cresselia can absorb this damage a lot better than Swampert can. I'm going to get hit by another Hydro Cannon, and that is totally fine. Totally fine. They're probably out of energy now. It takes 5 Waterfalls to get there. A little bit of lag. Going to throw the Moonblast now. Hoping that this is enough. They shield that up, so whatever's in the back has got to be weak to Cresselia. Yeah, it's a Giratina. Dragon Breath Giratina. I'm up in shields. I need to land 2 Earthquakes to take out this Giratina. And I should be able to get there because of my energy advantage. I will shield this Dragon Claw, but I know I'm going to get hit by another Dragon Claw. And I should barely survive to be able to get this Earthquake off. I'm going to survive this Dragon Claw. But then Empoleon's going to be able to farm me down. Empoleon's going to be able to farm me down, which is not good at all. And my Cresselia is pretty much out of energy. Oh, man. But they dumped their energy here. So now I have to Psycho Cut down an Empoleon. And we're barely able to do it. Good game. Crazy close. Going up against Peas 87 here. Cresselia into... Okay. This is like my least favorite lead to deal with. Because... most of the time I just lose whenever I run into that. A Berserker, they still have loaded energy. And this Cresselia is most likely running Grass Knot. Right? You always just gotta assume they're running Grass Knot because it's like the worst case scenario. It takes 4 Hydro Cannons to KO a Cresselia. Of course it's Grass Knot, so I commit a shield there. There's no way that I'm going to be able to win back switch. There's no way that I'm going to be able to win back switch. But I'm just trying to get some shields off of the Cress. Grass Knot's going to KO me. Very unfortunate. Cress is still very healthy. And this is pretty much an auto loss. Because if the Berserker is able to land a close combat onto my Obstagoon, that is definitely going to one-shot. It's going to be double super effective, and Berserker actually has a pretty decent attack stat, so it's going to hit for a lot of damage for sure. Maybe we'll land the Moonblast. I do get the attack debuff, which is nice, but man, this is brutal. This is going to be brutal. I'm over farming here because I want to have some residual energy to at least dump on that Berserker a little bit. I missed the excellent, it doesn't matter. Out comes the Berserker again. This is going to be a foul play. I know it is. And now I'm going to switch into my Obstagoon. And Charizard in the back. Okay. But the thing is, I have to save my shield for the close combat that's going to be coming through on the Berserker. So even though this is going to be a pretty close finish here, I can't shield up this Blast Burn, and my opponent knows it. For some reason, they go Dragon Claw, which is very interesting. Because I can't commit my shield to this matchup here. But now I think I do? No, I don't. It's another Dragon Claw? Am I going to be able to counter down this Charizard? Oh my gosh. Oh! I just got a third shield. Oh, this feels so bad. I think my opponent's game crashed. Okay, so... this is... that's the only win scenario for a Berserker League. Oh man, that's so brutal. Whenever that happens, you can tell that either the opponent intentionally crashed the app or their game crashed and they're trying to log back in. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how Go Battle League works sometimes. It's happened to me. Sometimes you're on the receiving end of it. Sometimes you're on the other end of it. Very unfortunate. So I apologize to my opponent there. That sucks when that happens. Or maybe their phone died even. I don't know, but that's a bummer. Escavalier lead again. Again, I'm going to shield up this first move. It is a Mega Horn. Again, it takes 8 counters to get there. And I'm just going to go straight Moonblast here. I'm just hoping for a debuff. It's going to take 3 Moonblasts to take out this Escavalier. I do get the debuff, and then they aggressively switch in Snorlax If you can get an Obstagoon switch locked against a Snorlax, this is the dream, man. I get to avoid the Escavalier. I get the boost. Is this a superpower, though? That would ruin my day. It's only a body slam. Totally fine. Totally fine. I need to exit this matchup with stored energy to threaten the Escavalier. So I'm going to totally farm this down, especially since I'm boosted. I know Escavalier is going to come back in. I'm hoping this is only a drill run, but I shield it up anyways because I just want to do a lot of chip damage with my my Obstagoon here. I wonder what they have in the back. Hopefully I get both shields. I get both shields, which is great. And then I'm able to counter down Escavalier and also get a Night Slash off on Cresselia because the Psycho Cut does nothing. Puts me in a very favorable scenario. Now I'm just going to bring on my own Cresselia to Moonblast down the opposing Cresselia. I get the attack debuff. Yeah, this is over. Good game. Good game. Cresselia into Berserker. Oh my gosh, dude. So bad. So bad for me. I'm going to bring in Obstagoon this time and see how they want to play this. They bring out their Giratina. So this kind of leads me to believe that there could be something in the back that is also weak to Obstagoon. It could be a Cresselia. That would suck. It could be a Registeel. That would be amazing. But I don't know. Because Giratina is definitely not the best response to Obstagoon. Definitely not. I'm most likely going to... Okay, unfortunate that I couldn't get to this Night Slash right there. But I'm going to shield up the Dragon Claw and see how they want to play this. Yeah, I'm going to get a shield as well. Can I get to this Night Slash? No. This Giratina is just very fast to these Dragon Claws. I know I'm going to get outpaced to this final charge move, or I'm going to get farmed down, but I get both shields off, which is good, I guess? No, actually it's not. Nope, there's no play here. Because when shields are down, Berserker goes to town, as we know. This is horrible. This is so bad. I can't Psycho Cut down this Giratina. There's absolutely no play here. And I get hit by another charge move. Hopefully it's just a Dragon Claw. It is. Still hurts. This is so bad. Not good at all. Moonblast takes it out. Out comes the Berserker again. How's it going? Close combat is going to absolutely destroy me. They might even have enough for two. They bring out Armored Mewtwo. This is so over. So over. I'm going to go for the Earthquake. Armored Mewtwo is so bulky. 2 Earthquakes will do it, but they're going to farm me down. Really solid play on their part. And my Cresselia is totally screwed here. Size Strike is resisted. The Confusion is resisted. Cresselia is a pretty decent wall to Armored Mewtwo. It's too bad I couldn't get that aligned earlier on in the match. But they're going to be able to take that. Good game. Going up against Venom Snake 52 here. Cresselia and Escavalier. Geez, how many steal leads have we ran into in this video? This is kind of just how it was going, though. Luckily, this team, it's playable. It's playable. Just Berserker is very tough. But Registeel, Escavalier, Melmetal, those are things we can kind of deal with a little bit. I will shield up this Megahorn again. Just going straight Moonblast here. It's going to take 3 charge moves anyways to KO Escavalier. So, unfortunately, I do not get a shield there. And I don't want to go into a 2 shield deficit. So now I'm going to aggressively switch in my Swampert. And they switch in their Gyarados. Oh, man. I'm down a shield. And Swampert is stuck against a Gyarados. It's not looking great. Gyarados has to commit energy in this matchup, though. This is only going to be a crunch. And then they're probably going to Dragon Breath down my Swampert here. It takes a little bit more than 3 Hydro Cannons worth of damage to take out Gyarados. Hopefully I get a shield here. They do shield, and then they're going to commit to farming me down. That's a solid play. Obstagoon does resist the crunch. So I'm going to bring out Obstagoon. And I'm going to get Hydro Pumped. This is for sure a Hydro Pump. And I don't shield it. That totally sealed my fate right there. And I'm trying to counter this stinking thing down Out comes Escavalier. I'm going to throw this Night Slash, and then I have to switch into Cresselia to... Oh, they let it go. Thank goodness. It's a Snorlax in the back, though. I triple resist the lick damage, but this is not... I get the boost, like, right at the last second. And there's no way that I'm going to win, because this Snorlax can just fast move me down the whole time. Bummer. What a bummer. Man. Good game. Snorlax is a beast. Going up against I Play Tennis here. Cresselia into Togekiss. People like to pair their Togekiss with Giratina. So I'm staying in this. Just going to throw a Moonblast. Again, it takes 2 charge moves to KO Togekiss, so might as well hope for a debuff. And I do get it right there, which is good for me. I don't need to shield this, even if it's a Flamethrower or an Aerial Ace. Totally fine by me. Going to throw this Moonblast. Probably going to get a shield here. Oh, they don't shield, and then I'm able to Psycho Cut it down. So, good position. Out comes Registeel. This is totally fine. If I can get a debuff here, it's amazing. But I have to let Cresselia go. Have to let it go. And it looks like they're going to lock on down my Cresselia, which is super aggressive. I'm going to be able to get to 2 charge moves here. And I get the attack debuff. Wow. Good position for me, because now I can bring out Swampert. Even if it's a Focus Blast, it's a debuffed Focus Blast. I don't need to shield this quite yet. Poliwrath. Oh, no. Oh, no. I have to stay in this. Obstagoon is going to struggle against Poliwrath. I call the bluff on the Ice Punch, and I'm going for a Hydro Cannon bait here. I do get a shield, which is good for me. I am so hoping that this is an Ice Punch. It is an Ice Punch. Thank goodness. So I've called 2 bluffs there, which has been really good, but I don't have Cross Chop on my Obstagoon. Oh, now he successfully baits me with Ice Punch. Really solid play. And then look at this. No. I accidentally clicked the Gunk Shot when he switched there. And I Gunk Shotted a freaking Registeel. Oh, that was the play that really lost me the game. I made some good switches. I made some bold calls, but then he was able to bait, and that switch he made was absolutely amazing. I should have tried to swap right there to catch a Dynamic Punch. Bummer. What a close game. What a close game. That was good plays all around. He's going to be able to take me out here. He's not in Hydro Cannon range either, so they're for sure going to be able to win this. Good game. Man, that was freaking close, dude. Going up against Sodium. Crest into Charizard. This is probably Charizard Double Charm, and I hate dealing with this team, man. Since recording this video, I do play this differently now. Nowadays, I shield up the Blast Burn, because I actually need Cresselia to pull a lot of weight against whatever's in the back. Especially when I'm running Obstagoon, because Obstagoon sucks against Charmers. This Clefable is not in Hydro Cannon range quite yet. But if I can get some shields here, this is really good. Oh man, I can't even Mudshot this thing down. Do they shield here? Nope. This is horrible, but out comes Togekiss. So this is actually good because Obstagoon gets to avoid this Togekiss. I need some shields gone though. I finally get a shield. Togekiss is able to farm me down. This is where if I would have just freaking shielded up Blast Burn. Oh my gosh, what an amazing switch. Amazing switch. Charizard catches the Moonblast. Horrible. I am in such a horrible position here. I should have switched out right there. Should have switched out right there to try to catch something on my Oh, this is where I'm using Poliwrath. This battle is where I'm using Poliwrath here. Okay. So I think this battle and then the next battle are like some of my final battles there. This is not good. I have to land so many Ice Punches on Togekiss. I like undercharged that Ice Punch way too much. Another huge mistake. I should have fully charged it up and then I would have been able to Mudshot down Charizard. Because out comes Togekiss. I knew that I had to have a lot of energy stored to be able to handle this Togekiss. My switch clock is not quite up. And somehow he just got 2 free charms there, which really sucks, but that's what happens. I'm able to get this Moonblast. I should have went for the Future Sight. Man, I made so many mistakes in this game. If I would have went for the Future Sight, I actually would have been able to win this. would have been able to win this, but I made a good amount of mistakes. Because now I'm going to be able to take out the Togekiss at least, but Charizard's going to be able to come in. And if I would have just landed the Excellent on the Ice Punch instead of trying to be sneaky to undercharge that, would have been able to take that. But good game. Here it is, folks. The final battle. Final battle to allow me to reach rank 10. Cress into Giratina. Is it Shadow Claw? It's Dragon Breath, so this is good for us. At this point, I'm running Cresselia Poliwrath Swampert, so no more Obstagoon. Gonna land this Moonblast. No shield. Totally fine by me. I wonder if they're just gonna sack their Giratina. Shadow Sneak comes in, totally fine. I'm gonna be able to get to this Moonblast. If they don't shield it, Giratina is gonna go down here, and I'm in a very favorable position. They no shield it. But they survive with a sliver of health and are able to get off a last second Dragon Claw. Okay, that's fine. Okay, totally fine. It's a Melmetal. We can deal with this for sure. The thing is, if it's a Charmer in the back, Poliwrath is going to struggle. But obviously, both Swampert and Poliwrath have very favorable matchups against this Melmetal. So let's see what I decide to bring in. We still have both shields up on both sides. I'm going to bring out Poliwrath. In case there's a Cresselia in the back, Swampert has a little bit more play. They throw the superpower. It's a Swampert in the back. I immediately switch into my own Swampert. I have a really good jump start on energy on my Poliwrath, but the opponent's Melmetal still has a little bit of residual energy stored up, so we need to be mindful of that. I'm going to commit some shields here, and then be able to get off another Hydro Cannon. I finally get a shield from my opponent. They got an extra mud shot there because the game lagged. Even if this is Earthquake, it's not going to take me out, but it is an Earthquake. That's a huge misplay on their part, and because I shielded it, I'm definitely at an advantage right now. There's pretty much no way I'm going to lose. Even if they sack swap, totally fine by me. This is probably going to be another Earthquake, but I barely survive it. Now I'm going to bring in my Poliwrath, and they aggressively switch in their Melmetal, but I'm going to catch the Superpower, totally fine by me. Overfarm just a little bit. Now I'm going to throw the Dynamic Punch. This is going to be enough to KO the Melmetal for sure. Out comes the Swampert again. I'm just going for Ice Punch. Hopefully this is enough. Should be like barely enough to take it. And we hit rank 10. Let's see the rewards get claimed right here. Yeah. Okay, claim that. Boom. 3006 was my rating when I hit rank 10. My highest that I got up to was 3036, but I hope you guys enjoyed this really long video, man. If you're still here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Support the channel. This video did take a long time to make. Good luck on your road to rank 10. We'll have some Master League videos out here shortly. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.